aspect of being obedient and knowing that when we have intuitive nudges to do certain things, that we have to just get it done. For example, ever since December, I've been asked to go take this class, this wellness class in my city. And I've been kind of like putting it off and not really wanting to do it. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And so every time I'd book myself in for this class, like 24 hours later, I'd unbook myself because I'd be like, oh, it's just like for a really silly reason. Because you have to, there's a mat rental. Like you have to rent a mat. And I was like, I don't want to pay for the mat rental. I can go to this class where the mat rental is free. So I would go to that class and that would be free, but I'd still be getting that nudge to go to that wellness class. And I'm like, till one day, which was Saturday, I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go to this wellness class. I don't really care. Even if I have to pay the fee. I was like, I don't care if I have to pay the fee or not. Like, I'm just going to pay the fee, bite my tongue, and just do it. And the fee's not even a lot. It's literally like under $3. And I was like being pressed because I didn't want to pay a $3 mat rental fee. But I did it regardless. So I went to this class that I've been meaning to go to since like December, because now it's January. And I'm stretching out my back. Like we're on like, it's like a mobility class, but it's also like a sound bath wellness class. So they gave us these like balls to put on our backs and other places on our body so we can like stretch them out. And when I put the ball on my back, I kid you not, like right in like where my shoulder is, and I started rolling it out and doing like the inflections and all that. Why did I start crying? I started crying. And I was like, this is so weird, because to me, thank God this studio is warm and it's dark. So it reminds me of my womb space meditations, realistically, but also it reminds me of the fact that I was like that. As much as I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of people, I'm also with myself. Like I'm really with myself. So stretching my back, I'm starting to cry. I'm clocking that I'm crying, and I'm like, no one's gonna know that I'm crying. Thank God it's dark in this class. Stretching out my back, go to the other side, continue to cry. Like these tears are falling. I can't help myself. I just start crying. And then I roll up my thighs because we take the ball, like, we flip over, roll onto our thighs, rolling out, still crying. But I remember, if you know, you know, hopoyono yono, if you know, you know. I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you. So I'm rolling out my thighs and I'm saying this, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, thank you. And I just say it over and over and over again. Eventually the tears stop. I stopped crying, which I was really glad for. And then the sound bath happens, and, listening to the singing bowls, like, just being immersed in that energy, in the music and the sound, and just being bathed in it. And then, class ends, but the instructor says that if you want to stay, you can stay, but if you want to get up, you can go ahead and get up. So I stayed for a bit because I really wanted to check in with my body and check in with how I felt, because I was crying. And I felt that God was kind of telling me, like, this is what you came for. Like, you came into this space to feel like uplifted and ministered to. And a lot of other downloads came after that are very just personal to me. And it kind of reminded me of the fact that while I was walking home, I was like, this really reminds me of the fact that a lot of the times we truly need to be in a sense of obedience to God, to our higher self, the divine. Like, we really need to have a sense of urgency on that, because the reason why we have the dreams we have, the reason why we have the dreams or the visions or the nudges of intuition to go do something is literally because of the fact that It's for us. We're supposed to be doing that. There's something there for us. We might not understand it immediately, but it'll make sense eventually. Like, you don't have to worry about, like, well, it doesn't make sense, or, I don't really understand why I'm getting it, or whatever, or like just ignoring it is really it's not acting in accordance of your higher self. It's actually acting in disobedience and acting from your lower self and acting in places where you don't want to be stuck in. And a lot of us, even myself included, acts in this way. Like, I did not want to make this video. And that's in accordance of a lower version of myself. Not wanting to make content, wanting to be stuck in the same 3D cycles, wanting to be in a certain realm of reality that my higher self, that God, the divine, doesn't want for me. But I want to be lazy and disobedient. And God doesn't want that for us. The divine doesn't want that for us. Your higher self don't want you to be lazy and disobedient. Your higher self wants you to complete the mission you came here for, because you came here for a specific reason. 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, you came here for a specific reason, to fulfill a specific purpose. And you not fulfilling that specific purpose or doing that is being disobedient to your higher self, being disobedient to God. Divine don't like that. And then we wonder why we get passed up for opportunities. We wonder why blessings don't show up the way we want them to, or when they should. It's because we're not acting in accordance of our highest timeline, our divine self. When you act in accordance of your divine self, things flow easier. Things come in easy. To not act in that accordance, that's why, sometimes we going through tower moments, or we go through like really big hardships, because we weren't being obedient. If we just stayed obedient and we just did what we were supposed to do, the intuitive nudge that we got to be like, especially when it's over and over and over again, like, we need to get it. We need to just, like, we just need to lock in and just do it. That's it. We just need to lock in and do it. There's nothing else to do. There's nothing else to do. Lock in and do it. You getting that nudge to, I don't know, apply for a job, do it. You're getting that nudge to quit that job, safely do it. Because the divine has something and God has something. The divine, God, source creator, has something in mind for you. Follow it. I understand you don't want to follow it, but follow it. Because the more you follow those intuitive nudges and that pathway, it leads us to our highest potential. I can even attest that there are times in my life where I saw certain things and I was like, and I was in certain places, and then years later, 6, 7 years later, 8 years later, it became relevant why I was in that space. Excuse me, double confirmation. I'm telling you, there's something about that, because there was a time in my life I was in a space where I had no choice but to be there. But I saw something that pretty much was a trajectory in my career. It made me be where I was in my career, working where I was working in. Only because of something that happened to me 10 years ago, or at least at that point, it was 8 years ago at that point, my bad. And then I started to realize that if I didn't see that, I don't know if I would have been in that industry. I don't know if I would have worked in like film and TV if I didn't see what I saw in 2010. In 2018, I didn't know if I'd be, like, honestly, it started to make sense. I even worked with the people who I saw in 2010. It's actually crazy. It's crazy how things work. But I started following those guidance and those intuitive nudges from then. I started getting curious about my life then. So when God's leading me, the divine's leading me to a path of being curious about my life again and where it could lead, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stay obedient and do it, even if I don't want to do it. Just like this video I'm making, I'm telling you, I didn't want to get up here and make it. I I thought to myself, well, I got better things to do. I got you know what I mean? I got shit to actually worry about, but I knew that I needed to make this video. I knew I need to spend time being here. Spending the, I don't know, the 11 minutes and 33 seconds that just passed is divine will. Is the divine, is it's what God wants for me. That's just what it is. Follow your divine path. Like, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your higher self, because you didn't come here on this earth. You weren't born on this earth to just pay taxes. Trust me. I don't believe that. You weren't born on this earth to, to just, do the bare minimum. You're born on this earth to actually do something magical. And the first part of tapping into your magic, realistically, the first step of tapping into the divine magic within you is realistically being obedient to the intuitive nudges you get. That's it. That's what I would tell anyone. It's like, what step would you take, Alicia? Be obedient to those intuitive nudges. If, let's just say, for example, you wanted to, go to a certain place. Maybe you don't have the money to go there right now, but maybe that you see a course online for like, I don't know, $20, and they're talking about something about that place. You don't know what you can find, the intersectionalities you might find in those moments. Realistically, you don't know that. I don't know that. But if you don't make that investment, and you're like, and you got the $20 or whatever, if you don't make the investment in whatever it is that you want to do in the course, for example, like, we're using that example of the course, if you don't take the moment of time to be like, oh, I'm going to invest my time into this, I'm going to invest my money into this, it's a sign, it's a signal from God to be like, oh, look what they're doing. They're investing their money into this, so I can go ahead and give them another step forward, another intuitive nudge, since they're following. The divine, God just wants us to follow these intuitive nudges. When you don't follow these intuitive nudges, God's like looking at you like, what are you doing? And then you looking at God like, I want this, but you're not giving it to me. Well, you're not following the intuitive nudge, so what the fuck? Sorry, didn't mean to get loud, but damn. Like, like, I swear, like, even for myself, like, I would even piss myself off when I don't follow it, to the point where I thought to myself, are you going to let $2.25 stop you from going to the class that the divine has been asking you to go to? No, I couldn't let $2.25 stop me. I couldn't let $2.25 and a $13 Uber ride stop me. I already paid for the class. I might as well go. I might as well be immersed in an experience that the divine, that God wants for me. They want that for me so fucking badly. I don't mean to curse, but like, you know what I mean? Like, God wants that for me. So why not immerse myself in that experience? It might not make sense today, but it'll make sense another day. It'll make sense 2 years from now. I don't know the trajectory of my life at this moment in time where I will be at the end. But I know that if I follow my guidance, if I follow the guidance that God gives me, I'll have nothing to worry about. I will have nothing to worry about because it's going to make sense in the end. I don't know what made me end up desiring realistically that sound bath class, but I kept getting that nudge to go to the sound bath class. It's like, you need to go, you need to go, you need to go. I didn't know it'd make me feel so emotional to be in that class, but I needed to be there. I needed to. I still, to this moment in time, don't understand realistically what's the reason. Like, I got a couple downloads after it being like, okay, maybe it's for that. And I'm seeing how things play out, because I'm like, okay, I went, now show me. But God's like, share about your experience. And then, we'll talk about the rest later. You know what I mean? It's one of those ones. Sometimes it's really just okay to dive into those unknowns. And the thing is, they're not unknowns that will make us like, we know that they won't like actually excuse me, they won't inherently harm us. You know what I mean? Like, these are not like harmful situations we're putting ourselves in. These are situations to grow. Realistically, we're given chances to grow, more or less. But we're not taking the opportunities to grow because we're being disobedient and selfish. Because allegedly we want to assume that we know better than the divine nudges we get. And that's pretty terrible to think. Like, oh, like, well, I know better. It's like, do you really? Like, be so for real. I feel like God looks at us sometimes and says, be so for real right now. I'm giving you this intuitive nudge. I think you need to take it. Like, I couldn't imagine not taking, like, just being disobedient to that fact, not knowing that maybe just going to that class, is like a butterfly effect that is needed to get to where I need to be, get to the highest point. Because other downloads came in afterwards, creative works that I would want to work on came in. A lot more things I was like, oh, I should do that. Oh, I should do. I could feel my creativity flowing. I could feel myself going through a sense of a flow state of a process of being like, oh, I should do that, and I should do that next, and I should do that next, and I should do that next. Maybe God just knew that if I was to immerse myself in the experience of the sound bath, that it would help me as a creative. It would help me as a dancer. It would help me, as a human, to remember myself. Because the one thing I took away from it, I remember texting one of my friends and I said to her, I was like, girl, I love you. Like, I love you so much. Like, honestly, being in that experience made me realize how much love I had for my friends and my family members, how much love I had for my community, how much love I had for just people in general, like, for people just to be well and healthy. It just reminded me of my own oneness with everybody and the goodness that I feel like I want to express to others, but I also want expressed back to me. That's what I got from the experience. And maybe that's what it was. That's what I needed. But maybe there's a bigger picture thing about it in this experience. I'm not sure. I'm just saying this to say that this is realistically a message about following your guidance, following the intuitive nudges you get, because they're important. It's staying obedient to your higher self, to God, the divine. Realistically, at the end of the day, you're just staying obedient there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna close out. This was really good. I'm thinking about doing more content like this, like these yappy sessions that are like not a lot of cards, that are just very like just intuitive guidance, rants, stuff like that. Catching me when I'm like needing just to share a message with y'all. If I don't know why, if someone wants to book an appointment with me, hit me up on Instagram. If you want to book anything with me, hit me up on Instagram. If you want to even talk, hit me up on Instagram and we can talk about, stuff. I don't know why I want to say that, but I'm being guided to like maybe whoever feels like they get these messages and they're like, oh, I really want to talk, hit me up on Instagram. I'm going to try and see if I can put an email, if I can put my email address in some sort of YouTube description, and y'all can like hit me up on hit me up on an email or Instagram if you got Instagram. If you need any assistance or guidance, or if you just want to talk. Yeah. We can talk about everything else in the comments or wherever. But yeah, hit me up if you want to talk, hit me up. Like, I feel so guided to say that. Anyways, I hope y'all have a great day. Happy Monday. If no one has told you that they loved you, I love you. And I hope the best for you. I hope this has made your day. I hope you can at least walk away from this conversation or this talk, at least, if, not really a conversation, but a talk, at least knowing that, you should follow your intuitive guidance and nudges. Don't not follow it. Like, don't be disobedient. God's tired of y'all being disobedient. Ciao. Anyways, have a great day. And like I said, if no one told you today that they love you, I love you. And, I'm rooting for you as well, even if I can't see you physically. Goodbye, everybody.